Hello everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Maria Shakil. Rahul Gandhi is in United States. His remarks in Virginia has sparked row in India. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi has said that Sikhs in India are not safe. He said that the fight is about whether a Sikh is allowed to wear turban, whether a Sikh will be allowed to wear kada. It is not just for Sikhs, it is for all religions. That's what the leader of opposition said. BJP, as expected, came down heavily on Rahul Gandhi over religious safety remarks. BJP said that Rahul is tarnishing India's image on foreign soil. Union Minister Hardeep Puri hit out at Rahul Gandhi, saying that Sikhs feel safer in India as compared to Congress era, and that Rahul Gandhi is misleading Indians and the world. But this is not for the first time that Rahul Gandhi's remarks on foreign soil have created controversy here in India. Last year, his speeches at Cambridge University had sparked row. But this time, he is holding a constitutional post as the leader of opposition. So the question is, could he have been more careful? And also, did his words get misinterpreted? Listen in to what Rahul Gandhi said and then the BJP's counter.
First of all, you have to understand what the fight is about. Fight is not about politics. That is superficial. What is your name? Brother, yeah, with the turban? What is your name? Balinder Singh. The fight is about whether he, as a Sikh, is going to be allowed to wear his turban in India. Or he, as a Sikh, is going to be allowed to wear a kada in India. Or he, as a Sikh, is going to be able to go to Gurdwara. That's what the fight is about. And not just for him, for all religions.
At least in India, the only time when Sikhs have felt a certain anxiety or insecurity and faced an existential threat was when statements were made कि बड़ा पेड़ अगर गिरता है तो धरती हिलती है. This is as close a justification to targeting of minority communities as I've ever seen in my life.
And joining me now, R.P. Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have Adil Singh Boparai of the Congress. Harmeet Singh Kalka is a president of Delhi Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee, and Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist. Before I bring in the politicians, I want to understand from you, Harmeet Singh Kalka, is Rahul Gandhi speaking about some kind of sentiment that's there within the community, or is this fear-mongering?
I think Rahul Gandhi is out of his state of the mind, because these types of statements can't be made publicly, which he made in the US, because the most difficult period for the Sikhs was from last in a century, if we see, was in the period when the Congress was in power. So these type of statements are only I think politically motivated, otherwise they have got no relevance in the public life.
Okay, but how does it benefit the Congress politically, Neerja?
Does it benefit the Congress? No. You know, overall, if you look at Rahul Gandhi, he's much more confident. He's gone to the US as LOP first time. He'll be listened to with great care about what his vision for an alternative, all that. He wants an inclusive society with equity. All that is the thrust of his speeches. But to, give an example like this, if you're making the point of religious minorities not feeling secure enough, he could have given the example of the Muslims and the lynching that's taken place in recent days, that the Muslims are feeling insecure. But Sikhs is the Sikhs are not allowed. The fight is Sikhs are allowed to wear their turbans or kadas. We all know that's not true. Sikhs have the freedom, and Hardeep Puri is absolutely right. I remember in 1984, those riots. We had a Sikh friend stay in our home, getting away from the violence. And they cut their hair in order for safety. And that was a horrible period, the anti-Sikh riots that the country saw, and will take a long time to live that down, and the damage that was done to the Sikh psyche. So it was a misplaced example, Rahul gave on that one.
Okay. So you're saying it's a misplaced example, but Adil, Rahul Gandhi clearly seems to have misinterpreted and misrepresented the Sikh sentiments here.
Well, Maria, I do not believe in mincing words, so let me be straight, let me play with the straight bat. The minorities over the past 11 years have been under attack and under threat from the BJP's high-handed policies. And this varies. This varies from hate speech, this varies to physical violence, this varies to discriminatory laws, this varies to brazen use of executive power. Do I need to remind you that the farmers till even now were being labelled as Khalistanis and terrorists? Now, is that not attacking a community just because they spoke up against high-handed laws? Was that not a matter of fact? Is it not a matter of fact that other minorities, religious minorities, are constantly under attack, that their houses are brazenly demolished, that they're labelled as terrorists, that they're asked to go to another country? Is that not a matter of fact? Are there not discriminatory laws? So therefore, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has spoken the truth. Now, that may be uncomfortable for some, but the truth doesn't change. The fact of the matter is that the Congress party has been repeating this ad nauseum, and we've been saying this in the country as well, that the BJP's hate speech, the BJP's executive actions...
Adil, here is Mr. Gandhi, who actually is part of the Congress party. He has been a Congress chief as well. And the Congress party had, the predecessor of Prime Minister Modi was from the Sikh community for good 10 years. So is the Congress party forgetting India's history?
Well, please understand, the Congress party, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, we gave Sikh representation. It was the first time that a minority Prime Minister, and that was done by the Congress party, and I think that speaks volumes about the strength of unity and diversity and our values, our cherished values, which the Constitution of India enshrines. But I'm making a larger point, Maria. Unfortunately, it is clear as daylight that the BJP follows an exclusivist idea of India. Are you
Okay.
trying to say that they don't label people as anti-nationals and terrorists? Let's be honest to ourselves. Let's open up any Twitter feed of any person who speaks against the government and happens to be from a minority community.
Okay. RP Singh, will you respond to that? So it's not just specific to the Sikhs, is the point that is being made by Adil. It is the larger, narrative of religious discrimination is what Rahul Gandhi is highlighting.
Well, if you are to, I'm sorry, he made a point about a minority prime minister. You must read Sanjay Baru's book, The Accidental Prime Minister, and that clarifies how the minority prime minister was treated by Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, both. And the cabinet note which was passed by the minority prime minister was thrown outside the parliament and in the public domain and said, I give a hoot to this, I give a damn to this, and this was the respect they showed to the minority prime minister. But that point aside, Maria, I have a different take on whole this subject. There's nothing in isolation. I can debate on also that whether Muslims are being targeted or not. I'll come to that, but I want to put my point of view. Last year in February, if I rightly remember, 2023, he went to some other part of the world. He picked up a Sikh and said, "You are treated as second-class citizen." That was his remarks. Then his advisor said, someone asked him about the Sikh being killed in Delhi, butchered in Delhi. He said, "Hua to hua." So this is an ongoing effort made by Rahul Gandhi to build up sense of alienation among Sikhs. And let me tell you, this will be highly quoted by all anti-India forces, especially the Khalistanis, especially like Pannus, and also like Simranjit Singh Mann, who probably will issue more asylum letters to youth in the Punjab saying that, the LOP is saying that Sikhs are being discriminated, they are not allowed to wear turbans, they are not allowed to practice their religion, they are not allowed to go to Gurdwaras, or they are not allowed to go wear kadas. Now he used this and make money out of this. But the other point is that people like Pannu will use it heavily. You remember Rahul Gandhi last time when the similar thing happened? This was just after the 370-35A was revoked. He said there's bloodshed in Kashmir. And the same was quoted by Imran Khan in UN, that Rahul Gandhi
leader of the opposition is saying there's bloodshed in Kashmir. So I don't know, I see it as part of a bigger conspiracy, whether he's part of it or not part of it.
Which conspiracy are you talking about, RP Singh? And if there is a conspiracy, then why is the government of India not taking action?
You didn't allow me to complete, ma'am. I said it can be. I said whether he's part of it or not part of it. The conspiracy is to alienate Sikhs from the mainstream, and then to build up radicals, especially in America. People who in America, Germany, UK, Australia, Canada are being pushed with an anti-India mindset, and then they are being built up for future course for the anti-India mindset. So issue is that we all know there's a game plan which is happening. There are people who are on the game to ensure that India is divided, and this will be a tool which will be used. That your leader of opposition is saying, not us, Rahul Gandhi is saying that Sikhs are discriminated. And they will use this to further alienate Sikhs abroad who don't know what's happening on ground in India.
Adil, do you think...
Give me another second. 5 seconds, please. 5 seconds.
Sure.
And also, how can you forget that 3,000 Sikhs were butchered in Delhi by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his team? Please go through GPS Sidhu's book. He has categorically stated how Sikhs were targeted to win elections. How 30,000 Sikhs were killed in Punjab.
You know the problem is, Adil, do you think these statements give legitimacy to the Sikh separatist demands?
Well, let's be very clear, Maria. I think the BJP is unable to understand this, and so are their acolytes. BJP is not India. I would urge that this should percolate down to them. BJP is not India. Let's get this very clear. Number 2, I can give you examples. Ajay Kumar Teni's son runs over Sikh farmers. He continues as a minister, charged sheeted by the investigating agency. BJP didn't take any action. There have been numerous instances where office bearers of the Bharatiya Janata Party have labelled farmers as anti-nationals and Khalistanis. I think the question which I'm nobody to you. The question which you should perhaps ask BJP is why
let him speak, please. Let him speak, please. Yes.
The question which the BJP needs to answer and introspect, and the likes of BJP's rabble-rousers, their motor mouths, and those in powerful positions of executive authority continuing with policies which are discriminatory in nature. I think that's the larger question. If you're concerned about India's image, then you must start from setting your own house in order. Your bulldozer business of raising people's houses to the ground. Can you imagine how insensitive that is? Calling somebody a Khalistani and a terrorist. Your member of parliament labeling them as terrorists. Is that fair? So please look within. Unfortunately, nobody...
I have just enough time for one comment from Harmeet Singh Kalka. Mr. Kalka, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I would like to tell Mr. Adil that who has given the authority to Rahul Gandhi, either any of the head priest of the Gurdwara Sahibs, any of the Sikh organizations, that we are not safe in this country. Rahul Gandhi goes and says that he is trying to oblige those people who are creating nuisance in this country, who are trying to make a platform of Khalistan which is not accessible anywhere. So I think this group of, just to please this group of people, Rahul Gandhi is making such statements, and Mr. Adil is telling about some cases of in the BJP rule. I must tell you that in the 30 years of the Congress, there was not charge sheeted of the criminals of the like Jagdish Titler in these cases. If the Congress is so much concerned, why these butchers like Sajjan Kumar and Jagdish Titlers have been kept in their party, have been given the ministries and the portfolios in their party?
Lost their lives on the borders of Delhi, and this gentleman can't even ask the BJP that is this justified that their members of parliament and office bearers label.
Your leader butchered 3,000 Sikhs in Delhi.
Harmeet Singh Kalka, Nilja Chaudhary, Adil Singh Bopra and RP Singh, thank you so much for joining us. Earlier today, I spoke to Hardeep Singh Puri, Union Minister. Remember, he had held a press conference questioning Rahul Gandhi's statements. Listen in to what he told me. 10 years, India has had a Prime Minister from the Sikh community. Of course, he was Prime Minister Modi's predecessor. Do you think things have changed so drastically that an entire community, according to the leader of opposition, feels isolated and victimized?
Listen, Maria ji, these words, isolated and victimized, are very strong words. I've heard nothing of the sort, but that's not the issue. What he said was even more absurd. He said that members of the Sikh community have difficulty in wearing a turban and wearing a kada. Where is he getting this from? I worn a turban for more than 62 years. I think I was something like 63 or 64 years. And I worn a kada even longer. I have never come across anyone who has expressed a sense of anxiety on the wearing of a turban. Yes, there was one occasion in our post-independence history when during the young leader, young within quotes, leader's father's time, there was a pogrom carried out against my community when 3,000 innocent Sikhs were killed in cold blood. Yes, at that point of time, some of my colleagues, some of my brothers and sisters, they feared for their lives and they may have shed a turban either temporarily or permanently because of that fear, but never since then or never earlier. So, I think the young man's association with the Sikh religion goes back to the time of his grandmother. I can't blame him for that, who ordered the armed forces army into the Golden Temple. And then what happened in terms of the pogrom in 1984. But I think whichever way you look at it, it's highly regrettable. It is totally unlikely whether any member of the Sikh community, you named a very distinguished leader who was Prime Minister for 10 years, he or any other members of the Sikh community in Parliament or otherwise would have gone and expressed something. So how did he come up with this statement? I don't know. Did he make it up? Did somebody misinform him? But you know, once you are in political life, and he is not an ordinary normal citizen, he is also, by the way, the leader of opposition, he should check his facts. All of us get information on a daily basis. We check the veracity, we counter-check, we cross-check, and then we make a pronouncement. But this is a new, and by the way, he's attacked the electoral system, he's attacked the legal system, he said elections not free or fair. I mean, for heaven's sake, do you know what a celebration of democracy this is? Total number of registered voters, total number of people who came out to vote. The total number of voters is more than the entire population, I think, of the entire rest of the democratic world put together. So, to come out and say that Sikhs have, he didn't say that they have come to me and expressed an admiration. He is saying this as a you know, a solid piece of evidence which he has got. The Sikhs are scared of wearing a turban. You use the term victimization and this thing. That's a construct you are putting on. So, he's talking about even wearing a turban. I mean, Sikhs, I'm a very proud Sikh. By the way, I have never felt safer in my life wearing a turban in India than I do anywhere in the world.
So, then did the leader of opposition, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, misinterpret or misrepresent the Sikh sentiment? Or many are saying that it reflects a deeper political misunderstanding?
No, deeper political misunderstanding, Madam Maria ji, is a mild understatement. This is this is bordering on the absurd. If a community which has produced, they were the andatas of the country. If a country which has done Samaj Seva, no matter where there is a civil war in the world, whether it was in Syria, elsewhere, members of this community turn up to do Langar Seva. When COVID took place, they were doing Langar Seva. Look at what our Gurdwaras do in terms of Seva. And it is a community which is anchored in Qurbani, in sacrifice. I mean, if you take the total percentage of population, less than 2%, a number of people in the armed forces, engineers, doctors, who've risen to the apex court, the Supreme Court, diplomats, ambassadors. It's a very proud community. And if they have a sense of grievance, etc., they'll express themselves. Let me tell you, a Sikh doesn't need any prodding. And I certainly don't need any prodding from someone who says that I have a problem wearing a turban. As I told you, I've been wearing a turban for over 62 years.
Yes, and sir, then in that case, is it also a case that the BJP should, take steps to reconcile with the Sikh grievances and perhaps rebuild trust, as is being indicated by Rahul Gandhi?
Rahul Gandhi is not the spokesman of the Sikh community. Let me tell you one thing. Rahul Gandhi has a lot to answer for in terms of the current situation in the Sikh community. Rahul Gandhi's family was holding political office when some of the worst atrocities against the Sikhs were committed, and the Sikh community today is rising. It's standing on its own feet. If there are any remaining issues, as far as I know, the Honorable Prime Minister has addressed every Sikh issue, whether it was something to do with the sacrifices of the Sahibzadas, Veerbal Divas, Kartarpur corridor, the other community, whether they are related to agriculture, and we are willing to talk. The Honorable Prime Minister has always had open arms and an open heart. He proudly goes to a Gurdwara wearing a turban. By the way, Mr. Rahul Gandhi also wears a turban. So I don't know whether he gets scared when he wears a turban. I don't know what he's talking about. And if this was not a serious discussion on primetime television, I would say some other things also.
Okay, Mr. Puri, in the global context, with the way things are playing out in Canada, especially over the Khalistan issue, do you think statements coming from Rahul Gandhi give legitimacy to the Sikh separatist demand?
I don't think, there are in every community, in every religion, Mariaji, there are fringe elements. They will have their own agendas, but there's no support for those things. And I'm not getting into that. And by saying that Sikhs are feeling alienated, do you think he's giving a boost to that movement? If it does, then he's doing himself a harm. I don't think it's that. I just think this statement came out of nowhere. I don't think it's well thought through. And this is what I would categorize in the column of bonkers.
But why are you calling it absurd? Many would say it's a political statement that he has made on a foreign soil. He hasn't said anything in that context
it's absurd
in India.
Because what is absurd? Absurd is something that doesn't make sense, which has no basis. If I get up one day and make a statement which has no relevance in terms of facts or context, people will say absurd. This is what I'm saying. I saw this statement earlier today. I have not come across one commentator who says that what he has said is correct.
So besides fact-checking him, is the BJP also demanding more clarity or explanation from Rahul Gandhi as to why he said what he said and who is he really quoting?
Madam, I have reheard him. He's not quoting anyone. He's making a statement on his own, which he believes to be true. So let's leave it at that. What the BJP is going to demand, I don't know. I'm appearing on your show as a very proud Sikh, as a turban-wearing Sikh, as a devout Sikh. And I think that he's talking, XYZ. And I'm also appearing as a BJP Karyakarta. What decision the party takes or which direction it wants to take it is not my call. Since you are a highly respected channel and you asked me to appear, here I am.
Sir,
and I want to thank you for allowing me the freedom to state my views.
Sir,
let me state categorically, no Sikh ever has any problem from any quarter in wearing a turban or a kada.
Okay, so as a leader of opposition, a constitutional representative of India, and you are a senior party leader of the BJP, what will be your advice to Rahul Gandhi?
My advice to anyone who's in the political space, please weigh, measure both what you are going to say and the consequences of what you are going to say. Because there is a world out there which is going to judge you not only by what you said, but all the consequences it can lead to. So I think Mr. Gandhi needs to seriously introspect, and I don't know whether he has it in him, because I haven't seen any genuine regret or apology for the Golden Temple attack or for the killing of innocent Sikhs. And he should try to make amends if he can or if he wants to. Otherwise, let him face the music.
So what exactly will be music here?
I don't know. Depends on what your tastes are, preferences are. All I can say is that this statement has not gone down well with any community, not only the Sikhs but everyone, to say that they are living in fear in India. What is he doing? He's preparing the grounds for some people to seek economic asylum outside. He said something also about worth living in a country where freedom. I mean, his family has been in charge of political power for the bulk of the period since 1947. We are trying to correct it. As far as constitutional freedoms are concerned, democracy is concerned, we had a very interesting situation. Civil liberties have been curtailed only once. It was in June 1975 when the young man's grandmother was in office. And the killings of innocent people took place when his father was the Prime Minister.
Okay. Is the BJP, you have already called it a dangerous narrative. Mr. Puri, does it stop here, or is the BJP also seeking an apology from Rahul Gandhi?
I am not speaking here to tell you what the BJP is thinking. I'm sure the BJP is a well-organized party. It's the largest political party in the world. And, it has crores of members. They will answer, the party will take a view. Just now I'm appearing because, we belong to the world of instant news. Somebody makes a statement and NDTV and the other channels have cameras in front of the rest of us. So they will take a statement, but all I can say is I condemn this in the strongest terms, and I think people making such statements ought to be very careful and they ought to introspect.